for Joe Skeletor Giannetti!
She won't kill him, I don't think.
Joe, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
You said at the face-offs that the last person who smiled got choked out.
This isn't a game. You know, if you watch my old amateur fights, my first pro fights, I did the same thing. I was smiling, walking out to Whitney Houston. Still love you, Whitney. It was just time to mix it up. Time to get serious. You know, the biggest reason UFC cut me, I was still a kid, and I told a couple people, like, maybe I lied to myself, and I was like, maybe Dana saw something that needed to mature and grow. So that's the mindset I went with, and it was just time to get more in the zone, more serious. And you know, these less experienced guys, no offense to them, it's still a game to them. But the fact of the matter is, if I lost tonight, I'm trying to go back to square one outside of the UFC. You've got to build a win streak. You know, got to show the UFC brass what you're worth. And I think I've done more than enough. Tonight wasn't my best performance, but you know, once I got a little tired, I was just like, whatever. I hit harder than him. I hit harder than a lot of 70s. So you know, I just put my foot on the gas and kept connecting with that left hand. She didn't kill you, right? Take it easy. Any chumps? I told you guys, she's a boss. They think I was kidding. Woo!
How does it feel to win another belt?
Honestly, it's pretty anticlimactic. It's not the way I like to win. I know his jaw wouldn't be like that if I didn't hit him with the left, but I don't know. There's always reason to doubt people. There's always, oh, you know, if the doctor didn't step in, you know. It was a good fight. You know, he exploited some weaknesses, physically more than technically. You know, he was pretty strong, probably just leverage. But it feels really good. At the end of the day, they'll both yell at me, tell me to shut the hell up and go celebrate. But, you know, the fighter in me that wants to get better isn't super happy, but does look really nice.
At the presser, when they asked him if he won, how would that impact his career? He said that it wouldn't really do much. How did you feel, and what does this mean?
As far as those comments, like I said, people just been underestimating me now, my last 4 fights. I'm just fighting for more than these other guys, and I'm better than most of these guys and a lot of guys in the UFC, and that's just coming from my hard work. I know I sacrificed a lot, and I think that win did a lot for me, even though it wasn't the prettiest, but once again showed I can win technically. I can win in the dog fight. I got more dog than any of these guys, and I picked the biggest welterweight I could find, so can't say that I'm not fighting real welterweights.
How did that feel? The opposite. You know what I mean? Like, you're usually the tallest one.
Not as bad as people thought it was going to be. You know, I know a lot of guys say this, but I grew up getting fights in the street all the time. When I was 5'8", 230 pounds, kids were taller than me. So I was just kind of throwing overhand lefts like tonight, you know? So it was just to the backyard days. And, you know, same as when I got in fights when I was a kid, putting these guys away. Wasn't the prettiest, but I didn't get beat up too bad.
Joe, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. First question I'd like to ask.
Friggin' amazing. Cage Titans informed me last year that I was the first one to win the amateur title and pro title in the same class. So that was a cool little stepping stone. And now to be the first professional champ, it's just amazing. You know, we're setting records. I know there'll be kids that come up after me that break the records. Kids like Jaden Curley. Maybe he'll win 3 belts. Who knows? Kid's a monster. Fought kind of stupid. I gave him shit and then did the same thing, but that's what we're here for. Living life.
Do you think that this is the
I don't know. I think the performance itself, you know, you watch that and you're like, oh, maybe not yet. But if you look at what I've done in the last year and what I've done to get those things done, then maybe, you know. I wasn't saying anything in the cage to try and be a wise ass or sound cool. Like, this is part-time. You know, I work all the time. You can ask Tyler and everybody. I skip training sessions to go to work. To be able to afford to take a week or 2 off, 4-5 week, or even get 2 months off. You know, I work with my dad, and I drive him crazy taking 2 months off at a time. I live in my car in the AK parking lot. You know, Habib and all them have gotten the Grand Tour. So, you know, these guys know that I put in a lot of work. Habib said himself last time I was there, this year it's time to make money, and that's what I'm trying to do. Tremendously, leaps and bounds. Not just them, I'm pretty BTT Taunton in Middleborough, but I get pretty homesick fast when Habib's running practice. I call my girl every day, and I'm like, it was awesome. I hate it here. But it makes me appreciate being at home with my girlfriend, my friends, my family, and my team, and vice versa. When I'm home here, still getting great work, it makes me work harder to get back out to AK. And it makes me fight harder because the sooner I'm in the UFC and have a little bit more money, I can spend more time out there take my girl with me back and forth. So step by step.
Last question.
The last 2 hours in the locker room, honestly. I watched a bunch of tape last night of Trevor and missed one of his Bellator fights. And my coach, Justin Burrell, was like, yeah, you know that left hook lands on him a lot. I was like, really? And I pulled up the video, and the guy was just left hook, left hook, left hook, and it put him down. I don't think mine was as pretty as his, but it got the job done.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It's because my head takes up all that.
So on Wednesday, you told me that it would be a second on video. That's what it is. But how do you feel?
Really good. I was just about to start working the body like my corner wanted. I started feinting it to get him to think about it, but then every time that overhand left hook landed, he was stumbling, seeing double, and like as much as he did well holding me against the cage and getting me down to the ground, high-level wrestlers can tell you when it's desperation or when it's attacking, and it was desperation. He would get hit and then grab me, or he would miss, I'd hit him, then he'd grab me. So it was one of those things where he was killing time until he got his mind right, and that's why when I eventually got on top of him, I didn't care if I was landing small elbows or just cross-facing him. I just wanted it to suck and be miserable. And it sounds funny, but people do it to me in training, you know? You just have to embrace the suck sometimes. And I embrace it every day in the gym, so for 10 minutes I get to do it to somebody else. It's awesome.
And obviously, training, or most of the time, you're training with AKA, and you take them with them for the most part, other than like nothing. Two times you got to take them down. It's pretty high level. Do you think training there has helped with your training?
100%. I still think my confidence in the wrestling department has some growing to do. There was a couple of throws I like half-ass fainted, and he came up off his feet, and I was like, I really could have tossed him. Because for me, I was always a lap dropper, a low-level single-leg wrestler, and now I'm like, oh, I can throw any of these guys. You know, I train with Kamoa Wakra, he's a judo black belt, train with Khabib, and Usman, and Islam, and all those killers out there, and they whoop my ass. But you go from that level to fighting good local guys, it's just different. So I just have to believe in myself a little bit more and polish that up. But I'm excited with the steps that I've made forward. Thank you. What's up, man?
So, you know, in the new routine about a month ago, you said that everything's going perfect, right?
Mhm.
And especially with Trevor, obviously, the last conversation, the last did it just feel that much more satisfying every time we got into positions and you were honestly pretty close to the
100%. You know, you could tell I was close in the guillotines. He started gagging for air, and then you would see him kind of relax and then explode out because he knew he was this close. I felt really good on the ground, you know. A little hard getting him off me, but I was so deep on those guillotines, I knew I could make him fear it for long enough. And like I said, when I got on top, I just made him pay. And even that split second I was in his guard, I baited the arm bar and pulled my head right out. And he went for it out of desperation, but as soon as I got out, I knew, get back on the feet. Just finish this thing up.
When do you see those back in, right? Whether it be the UFC or maybe everybody.
I love cage titans. You know, I have 2 belts to defend. You know, the 155 division around here is pretty thin. You know, rankings aside, they won't fight. Look at the other 9 in the top 10. They won't fight me. I'm not talking smack. There's a reason I fought for this belt. But who knows? You know, Dana calls. They keep. You know, they were playing June and July for Boston, then November, September, and all that. Now we're moving on past, like, towards December. We have a couple cards with no location. December 17th, my buddy Deron Wynn's fighting. I asked him, they haven't told him where yet. You know, you want to send my buddy back to Boston and throw me on the card? We all know there's a couple lightweights that I want to get my hands on. So whenever Dana calls. If not, I'll be back here in the first card of the year for cage titans. Hell yeah. They don't like the cold. You'd have to wait till next summer. It's bad. They all hate it. They think, you think I'm kidding. Hates the cold. It's got to be summertime. You'd never think, being from Dagestan. Cold, you got too used to warm weather. Thank you, thank you. What's up?
Congratulations on the job on your chin.
Thank you, thank
So,
you.
you know, your striking was on point tonight. So, you know, was that something that you think surprised Trevor tonight?
100%. I said this before after I saw one of his interviews, you know. They asked him, what do you think this one would do for you? And he said, nothing really. He's a 55. I look at his frame. I kill myself to make 55 in the safest way possible. there. You know, bodies grow. I am getting stronger. I still look skinny fat, but I am getting stronger. So we're gonna take over 155, and then those welterweights got to be on the lookout.
I feel like you going up to 170 was really impressive just because of where you were fighting before and where you're at now. And how do you feel now that you gained so much weight to that point that you got the dub right now?
I don't know. I feel good. We'll cut back down, get back down to 55, and take care of business. Against who, I'm not sure, but it's time to go back to 55 for now. And then, you know, if I win a fight there, bounce back up for in the UFC. But one step at a time.
Are you cutting down on the price that you
Fucking it's the best and worst thing ever. Shout out to Mikey De Silva. He actually sold me that bike like 3 weeks ago. Huge love skater. But yeah, that bike sucks, but it's my hero. Nah, I'm trying to talk smack, so like next time I get on it, I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. It still sucks.
congratulations on the dub, man.
Thank you.
And I know I'm going to see you somewhere.
Yes, I'll be tapping on the wharf before they close. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you, guys.